Hi everyone, my name is Sina Javankhoshdel and I am the Senior Manager of the Limit Equilibrium team at Rock Science. In this episode, I'm going to overview different design standards available in the RSWall software together with different methods used to calculate active and passive forces in this program. RSWall software is capable of designing different wall types using different standards, and for each standard, you can use different methods to calculate active and passive pressures applied to the wall and also calculate the tension in the reinforcements. These design standards, they can be used for different regions. For example, we have AASHTO, FHWA, and NCMA. We have Eurocode, British standard, and Australian standard. Also, we have different methods to calculate active and passive air pressures based on these standards. I'm going to show you different design standards available in the RSWall software and also the methods to calculate active and passive air pressures based on each standard. Let's look at them. So I'm going to start with an empty project. In the project setting of RSWall, you can set up your wall type, standards, and different methodologies. So let's review all these. The wall type section, you define your wall type. Keep in mind, not all the design standards include all wall types. So if you pick a wall and you go and pick a design standard, and if that design standard does not consider this wall, you will get a warning that this design standard is not compatible with the wall. Then we go to the design standard sections. We have different design standards, including AASHTO 2024, AASHTO 2020, AASHTO AST, which is allowable stress design, NCMA, Australian standard, British standard, and Eurocode 7 and Eurocode AST. So any of these standards that you pick, you can click on View and look at the resistance and load factors provided by the standard. If you can see here, these are all grayed out because these are directly coming from a standard and users cannot change it. But if in your region you use different factors, you can just click on Add and define a user-defined standard based on any standard that you want. So for example, I define a user-defined standard based on AASHTO 2024, click on Next, and now I can change these factors. For example, if I want to change the live load surcharge instead of 1.75 to 1.7, I can do that. And when I hit OK, now a new user-defined standard is added called user-defined 1 from AASHTO 2024. So basically, all the calculations would be based on AASHTO 2024, but with my factors. If you want to consider FHWA, there are some differences between FHWA and AASHTO that we included in the settings of the AASHTO standard that you can check this. There are some options related to a stiffness method for geosynthetics that you can change these parameters as well. Groundwater, there are different methods, depends on the standard. And we have some advanced settings as well. For example, if you want to ignore weight of wall facing during a sliding calculations. These are all related to AASHTO. So if I change a design standard, for example, to a Eurocode standard, you can see that all these options are different because Eurocode has different design approach, different combinations as well. And it has its own advanced setting as well. So we go back to our user-defined AASHTO. Seismic is the same. So basically, seismic analysis depends on what a standard allows you. For example, AASHTO only allows horizontal seismic coefficient. But if you go back and pick Eurocode, you can see that Eurocode has its own horizontal and vertical coefficient for seismic. Failure modes are the same for all the design standards, except when you go to AST standards, failure modes are based on factor of safety calculations. So you can define an initial factor of safety. Or if you go to NCMA standard, similar to AST, it has factors of safety because NCMA is based on work stress design. Now let's go to the methodology section. So to calculate active and passive earth pressure and tension in reinforcement, there are different methods. AASHTO only allows Blom and Gerard's wedge method for active earth pressure, and for tension allows simplified method, coherent gravity, and stiffness method. And for passive only allows Kaked and Kerisel method. But if you change the design standard to Eurocode, it has the most comprehensive number of methods to calculate active and passive and tension. You can see that it has Coulomb, Rankine, Kerisel, and Apsey, and Breach and Hansen. For reinforcement, it has tieback wedge method and coherent gravity method. And for passive, it has Kaked and Kerisel, similar to AASHTO, Kerisel and Apsey, Breach and Hansen, and used at rest pressure. So it depends on the standard that you pick, the methodology methods would be different. You can see that NCMA only allows Coulomb and simplified method, and no passive will be considered. So depends on your region, depends on the factors that you use and methods that you use and the standards that you use, you can pick different methodology approaches as well. This concludes this episode, which I talked about different design standards available in the RSWall software and different methodologies to calculate active, passive, and tension forces. If you have any questions or comments, please comment on the section below the video. Thank you.